Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today it's time to finish 8 and 9 of the Mystery Club from Cotton Cuts called Sparkle and Shine. We're doing the small version and a large version. So let's get 8 and 9 done because 10 is coming up really quickly. I have been following along doing both a small and large version. The small one is Ruby and Emerald, and it'll have this beautiful Christmas look just in time for Christmas. And for the large one, I'm doing the Pearl. These are the fabrics I chose, but there was many you could choose from. The patterns were the same. It's just our fabric choices were different. So let's start with the small and do number 8 and number 9. The kits come pre-cut for us. And they even come cut with all the dog ears off, so they fit together like perfect puzzle pieces. So let's start with number 8. We do have a diagram that shows us all the fabric that comes in these little sets. And I do take time to lay them all out and make sure that I do have all of the pieces to start with. The patterns are not color-coded because all of the fabrics were different. So I have used my guide and have laid out all of my fabrics. For this particular section, we are going to be making 2 units that will look like this and 3 units that look like that. So I can start and put those all together. I will be putting 8A and 8D together, and I'm going to be pressing to this D. With these 6 little half square triangles, we will take 2 of them and add E beside that D, add an F beside the D's, and we're going to press those to that larger block. Once those are pressed, we need to add A and B together. So we will have 2 half square triangles that will go together with the first leftover half square triangles. We now have 2 each of these components. We're going to be able to stitch those together to get this one section. For the next section, we're going to make 3 big flying geese and put that long piece on the end. The seams are going to be pressed out and then pressed to this large piece. I have units 8B done and 8A. I've been keeping all of my pieces with the pattern together in the 8 bag and so on. Let's work on the small number 9. The small number 9, I will be making 2 identical units. So for that particular unit, I'm going to start and make those half square triangles. So I'm going to sew A and D together, press towards the D, and I will need 4 of these units. When those units are done, I'm going to lay out the rest of the units. I do like to see this before I stitch it. I still will be following the steps and the pressing directions, but just having this laid out for me just gives me a visual as I go along. So I have those larger C's at the top, 2 large A's with the A corners. So I'm going to make this unit first and then put those corners on, following the pressing directions. We have 2 long pieces, and it looks like it's coming into the center. And that's all we need for the small clue 9. Let's take a look at the large 8 and 9 clues. And we'll start with A. And I do have that purl line. And for the large 8 clue, I'm going to be making 4 identical units. To start with, I will need to make 8 units with A and B together and 20 units with A and D together. We are pressing towards the B and pressing towards the D. Once all those half square triangles have been stitched together, for step A, we are going to take that A piece and put it on the end of an A and a B, an A and a D. Step 4, we're going to have an F in the middle. And we have those D's on each side. We do have some half square triangles left over we're going to join together. And these are the A and D units. And then we're going to put an A and B unit on. And for those, we're going to press going out. When that last row has been put together, we're going to have 4 of each of these units. Those seams are going to match up. And we need to press them all going to the top. And all 4 of these units will now be complete. That large number 8 is now done. We have one final one to do, and it is the large number 9. And this is the very last remaining block until we get to put it all together. And we will make 2 sections identical. We need to divide up our bee pile into piles of 2. The first one, we're going to put a small a on one side. The second one, we're going to put a small a on the opposite side. And in the remaining 2, we're going to add 2 e's. Once all those bees are sewn together, we're going to sew those units together and press out. The next few steps will be the same as the first. This time we're starting with the larger C triangles, putting A on the outsides. And then we're going to put those together just like that first row. We have that first row done, the second row done, and for the third row, we have 2 of these strips in fabric C, and with fabric E, we need to sew on these ends and press out. With those 3 rows done, we're going to be able to sew those together, and be sure to follow the diagram so you have the rows going in the right direction. And we're going to press those rows up. And the mystery number 9 for that large quilt is now done. So I'm done all of my parts and my components for the small one and for the large quilt. The next step will be putting them together. On November 11th, I'm going to be getting the next installment, which will be putting these quilts together. So I have the small one and the large one. It'll be very interesting to see how they look because I have no idea. Are they going to be similar, the same, or totally different? I know the size is going to be different. The fabrics are going to be different. But let's see what the layout's going to look like. I do hope you join me then, and thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe and come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.